told y'all I don't have a camera crew, so you can't really see me. But it's okay. You shouldn't have to see me. What you want to see is this. So I've already gone ahead and heated this up. I wanted it real hot so when it first touches, you know, sometimes it's like hearing that sound, right? So I'm gonna take the big ones first, put them on there. There we go. Y'all hear that sound? The sizzle. And part of, again, it's oiled already. So because it's oiled already, even if it touches an area that doesn't have that much oil, it's still gonna be fine because it's oiled already. So you see how I'm putting them in there, right? I'm placing them in there because the first initial sear and cook, I want it to be right. I want it to, you know, so I'm placing them in there, and it's fitting just right. I think I purchased just enough to fit in there, just right. And for those of you who are wondering, what kind of recipe is this? I'll tell you. This recipe I got from a Creole chef. So it's not my recipe. It is a recipe from a Creole chef who I can call and say, I'm cooking such and such. Can you tell me what I need to do? And she gives me the recipe over the phone. And my job is to memorize it and do it. So we're gonna let this go ahead and sear in here. I have black-eyed peas and ham hocks for New Year's. So I'm gonna go ahead and have lunch for New Year's. Let's see what we got going on here with the browning of the oxtail. You know, if you think about oxtail, you're like, why would I eat an oxtail? Why would I eat the tail of a cow? Well, today's New Year's Day, and you know, it just reminds me of why we even eat black-eyed beans or black-eyed peas. And that's because back in the South, I forgot how the story goes, but back then they tried to kill all of the slaves in a particular area. And I know I'm gonna mess this up, but the way they did it was they burnt everything. You know how they say an army lives on its stomach. And they just burnt everything. All of the crops, all of the food, probably took all of the cows and everything else. And they left the peas, the black-eyed peas, because first of all, I don't think they knew what they were. And they just left that crop because they're like, all right, they didn't think it was edible. I know I'm butchering the story up, but they didn't think it was edible, so they left it. And because there was peas there, the slaves were able to survive off of those peas. And if it wasn't for those peas, they would have died. So every year when we eat black-eyed peas, it is in honor of our ancestors who, if it wasn't for them surviving, think about it. If they did not survive, we wouldn't be here. So in honor of them and thanks to them for surviving, we eat black-eyed peas, and I like them. So I just had black-eyed peas and ham hocks. And think about it, the ham hocks. Back then, the slave master didn't eat that kind of stuff, not at all. So they just threw it away, and therefore all of the throwaways, to include chitlins, which I may teach y'all how to cook, was basically what we ate, including the oxtail. Think about it. You know, the oxtail is just the tail. So they done had steak and ribs and shank and all kinds of good meat. And the only thing they throw away basically was the foot, the tongue, the head, and the tail. Well, that's why we eat oxtail. So I'm gonna brown the other side, and once that's done, wait a minute, I'm gonna show you what else we're gonna do. So what can I do while the oxtail is browning? Well, I can prep some of this here so that it goes into the crock pot and tastes good. So I'm gonna grab a couple of these bowls here and get them prepared. And that way, when the oxtail is ready to go into the crock pot, I'm good. So what should I start with first? Onions. So there are many ways to cut an onion, right? So I've already stripped it clean. And, you know, sometimes people will kind of do like this when they want to dice it small. That's one way I do it. My mama taught me this years ago. And always have a sharp knife. A dull knife will cut you, as Mr. Stone, my Boy Scout master, used to tell me. So when you cut it like that, it dices up, right? Of course, you can also cut it and have it in these large slices like that. I may just put kind of a combination of them both in there. And so you just slice them. I like them thick because once an onion cooks down, you know, it's really not thick anymore, right? So I'm gonna do that. I'm crying because of the onions. Let me get a trash can because I'm gonna need it. So this is what the background stuff is all about when you are prepping. So let's just take these onions and put them in here. And this will dump right into the crock pot pretty nicely when it's time. So that's the onions done, and I'm showing you my preparation for oxtail. And I'm still tasting those black-eyed peas and ham hocks. All right, so mushrooms, easy. I can just throw them in there. Woo! My eyes, man, from the onions. Those are some powerful onions. I'll get some of that onion juice off of this. So that way I'm not still feeling the effects. So now, what's next, right? Y'all following me? Y'all learning how to do this? Okay, here we go. Let's do these carrots. So with the carrots, pretty simple. I just peel the carrots like that. That's one. Some people don't peel them. You don't have to peel them. I'm 50-50 on it, right? It's no really requirement for me if I'm eating them myself. But if I'm serving other people, you know, some people just like their carrots peeled and it just looks cleaner and prettier. But it's a root right out of the ground. And since this one's skinny, I'll just eat that one. It's a root right out of the ground. So all you gotta do is wash it off. You don't really have to peel it. But that's how I do it. I'll cut off the back end, the tip, the back end. If I wasn't on camera, then I would pick some of these things up, start eating it. But now with these, what do you want to do with your carrots, right? So the small ones like this in, I may just do like that. Or you can split them down the middle and just open them up and let the flavor come out from the middle. And carrots are pretty sweet in the middle. So sometimes I may just do it like that. You can make them real small. And the bigger they are, you do want to split them, because that's where some of the ingredients right in the middle just tastes good. I'm almost inclined to do a couple, just leave them big like that. You know, it looks pretty too. I can leave a whole one in there. So it's really no big deal with that. So I'll take these carrots and put them in here like that. And this will go in the trash. And then on to the next one. Again, these are roots, right? They come out of the ground. I don't know if you've ever farmed before. I have. The Bullock family, many of us my age and older, were trained on the farm. So we know how to do all that stuff on the farm because we had to. All right, how do you cut these peppers, right? There are so many ways to cut a pepper. Here's one way. You can just slice it like that, you know, and get at it. So that's one way to do it. Then some people, you know, they want to go at it like this and pull that out and then slice it like that. So however you want. And you can leave them big. And that way, when you go to eat the oxtail, you got nice large pieces of pepper. And you know, it cooks down. So on your fork, it's gonna look really nice. This one right here. These are where you have the seeds, by the way. These are not really hot peppers, but in a hot pepper, these little seeds right here, man, they will light you up. But I'm gonna have other kind of pepper in there, but not really hot peppers. I grow peppers. I grow all kinds of peppers. I grow jalapeno peppers and bell peppers, and I probably grow like 5 or 6 different types of peppers. Most of them, banana peppers, are hot. Most banana peppers are not hot. But most of the peppers I grow, they are hot. And these little seeds right here, you got to be careful of these little seeds because they will light you up. Another way, you know, you can go after these peppers, similar to the onion, is you can just kind of do that and then just do like that. And I'm going to leave these seeds in there and just let them do what they do. And you can just slice them up small, right? So it's no real special way. I could get pretty. I do have other devices that slice up my food and make it look pretty. But this is oxtail. And so therefore, in the South, back in the day, slavery time, you did what you had to do. And most of the time, they only had 1 or 2 knives. They didn't have all of the technology that we have now. They just had the basics. And so I'm just kind of using the basics. This may very well be enough pepper. So I'm not going to cook the rest of the pepper. I mean, cut the other pepper up because it's good. Plus, it's green, it's red. So, you know, it's pretty, right? I want it to look pretty. Now, I got a tomato. I like the tomato because it's going to put flavor into the oxtail. The question is, what do I want to do with this tomato, right? So I think what I want to do with this tomato is lay it on the top of the oxtail. So, therefore, I'll get another plate for this. And that way, the flavor will fall down onto the oxtail. So, and then into the juices. That's the other thing. When you put this thing in the crock pot, those juices, ooh, they're going to be just right. And so, that's the flavor. Because it's going to make its own gravy. Or as they say in New Orleans, it's going to make its own gravy. So I'm going to make some gravy. Now, what do I want to do with these potatoes, right? Because it's going in the crock pot and it's not going to cook super long, I think what I'm going to do is just cut the potatoes like that. And that way, they'll cook, you know, faster than they would if it were whole. But I don't want them too small because then they start to, you know, dissolve into the stuff. So I don't want that. So now, y'all just watched me do what I do when I do what I'm doing in the sunshine on New Year's Day. So this is what's gonna go inside the crock pot. We're gonna have onion, pepper, some garlic, potatoes, tomatoes, beans, greens, potatoes, tomatoes, lambs, yams, hog, you name it. And carrots and some seasoning. And I'll see you when we get ready to get with those brown and serve oxtail.
Y'all hear the sizzle? So I've taken the lid off of the oxtail. So now I'm gonna burn off a lot of that moisture, that water. And then it's gonna create a different type of texture on the bottom with that oil simmering and caramelizing. And it's gonna really start browning this oxtail. And as it browns, then I'm going to slide it over and put it right in here. And so this is gonna be the process.
Well, it's time to begin the process. So basically what I'm gonna do is take the little ones out and put them in here just to make room for the big ones to brown even more. So as you can see, it's starting to brown, but the little one cooked pretty quickly. So look at that. Yeah. See, that's what you want right there. And so now I have room. Oh yeah, you see how that's starting to brown now. Ooh, and I took the lid off on purpose because I want that moisture from the water to get out of there so the caramelization can start happening and that brown can start talking to the meat. And once you have enough room in here with the big pieces, they'll take a little longer to cook, right? But you can see what they're doing. Oh yeah, everything is happening just right. Yeah, look at that, man. Oh, the caramelization. I want you to see the caramelization that's happening really inside that. Let's see if I can bring this around so you can take a closer look at how it's caramelizing inside that skillet. All that water that was inside is now gone, and it's just caramelizing. Okay, next put a little bit in there. Put some potatoes and onions. The big oxtail on the bottom, the little ones on top of them, and now I'm getting ready to layer it. The mushrooms, the carrots, and some pepper. Of course, put some more onions on top, and I'm about to put the tomatoes on top. Now take a look at that. See, this is packed in there so much that the lid can't even close, and I don't care because it's going to cook down, and you'll see the lid is going to cook down on top of it, and it's going to do everything it's supposed to do. But there's no way I was not going to fit all that food in there on top of that oxtail. This is going to be delicious. So I guess right now I can start prepping for a fried turkey. I'll see y'all soon. This is Chef Reggie. Okay, I'm Chef Reggie B, and now for the moment of truth. So, let's see here. We have the oxtail. I'll take a little bit of potato. Oh, that's good. Hot. Ooh. Anytime you can take a potato with a fork, and just go like that, you know it's good. Carrots and onions and pepper. seasoned just right. Let's check out this mushroom. Mushroom's good. Now the oxtail. Now I could slice into that oxtail, but I'm gonna try something just to see. If I take my fork and just do like that, and the meat is just falling off the bone of this oxtail. Look at that. It's just falling right off the bone. That's the way an oxtail is supposed to taste. Supposed to fall off the bone. Everything's good. And here's the beauty. I made so much of it that I can do a meal prep and maybe make, I don't know, 5, maybe 6 containers. And, oh, this is so good. This is Oxtail. I'm Chef Reggie B saying, see you on the other side.